So I finally caught up with Boku no Hero Academia, aka My Hero Academia. As of right now, the manga has 46 chapters out, and honestly, I had a blast like I haven't had in a while catching up to this manga. The characters, the designs, the art. Honestly, this manga has just been such a fun ride thus far, and I'm so glad it seemingly has a long way to go. Now, I want to talk about some of the characters. Obviously, I'm one of those people that I really like some of the fan favorites that are like, everyone loves. Todoroki is the shit. I love Todoroki. Bakugou, the shit as well. And I really like Deku as well. There's some other characters that I wish would get a little bit more spotlight from what I've seen thus far, like Yao Yorozu. I like her. I think she could be something more epic. I like that Uraraka. While she has that quiet, cutesy little short girl thing going on, she also isn't helpless like somebody like, I think her name is Shamie or Kami from Blue Exorcist, where she's just completely useless. This girl right here is doing her thing, and honestly, just almost every character, especially from Class 1A, has brought something to the table to make them stand out and make me give a shit about them. And there's a lot of characters in this series. Like, I will tell you right now, honestly, if you want the next Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, but more so it's kind of like Naruto, you really should jump on this. Right now, I will be 100% honest with you. I had an absolute blast reading this, catching up. I stood up like all freaking night reading it. It is just really freaking exciting. I was gonna come into this video as well shitting on one character called Ida. I was gonna come into this and blast that motherfucker, just say he's boring, he's crusty, but as of the last chapter, I gotta say the route that he's taking right now, didn't expect it at all, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Ida goes from here because it was just like insane. There's just so many things we need to talk about. I want to talk about the tournament. I would honestly argue right now the best fight in the tournament, the festival thingy majig where everybody was showing off their shit, was Deku or Izuku or Midorima, whatever the hell you want to call him, versus Todoroki. That fight was the shit between all the beautiful art, the panels, everything, and just the development that we got with these characters as well. Like, one of the things that I really enjoyed was Deku kind of bringing out the best of Todoroki and not just saying, well, I might be able to win as long as this motherfucker doesn't go full force. He was like, no, he should go full force. And at the same time, he was trying to help him overcome some shit in his head as well. So it was like he helped him to go on the right path to develop as a character. So that was in and of itself something cool that was inside of it. But just the fight was fucking awesome. I mean, just seeing Deku breaking his freaking hands, like his hands looked like they were just stumps or something. Like, he just absolutely went in. Todoroki gave it his all. The ice, using the fire, like, shit's real when Deku made him break his vow of not using the other, half of himself in order to win. So honestly, that fight was absolutely amazing. Going on to one of the other controversial fights, the Bakugou versus Todoroki fight, the finale. I would honestly argue most of that fight was amazing. I really loved it. I was so fucking hyped, and being 100% my opinion, Todoroki got robbed big time. I honestly think just him at the very last second getting confused and everything. Of course, it fits all in character after what Deku put in his head and whatnot about him changing, and he's kind of like conflicted, but Todoroki had it, and I was totally with Bakugou. Like, honestly, I think Bakugou being all angry and shit like that was a representation of the fan base in a way of how we would feel after reading that. Like, Todoroki had that shit in the bag. Honestly, like, as much as I love Bakugou, and I go back and forth as to which one I like more, because between them two and Deku, those are easily my three favorite characters. I like some other ones again, like Yao Yorozu, Aizawa Sensei, aka Kakashi. Let's be real here, people. It's fucking cool as shit. All Might's cool as well. Endeavor is a dick, and rightfully so. He's what made Todoroki who he is. Like, the conflicting motherfucker. Oh, Todoroki's backstory. There's just so much to talk about right here, and I'm gonna get into all of it. Todoroki's backstory. He gives me them Hakuryu feels. He gives me them, not only just the character design or whatever, but the tragic past and how his mother basically burned him in the face and couldn't see him anymore and went to a crazy home because, his father put her in there. Just absolutely adds to the character and makes him a lot more interesting. And again, between back and forth with Bakugou, I love that Bakugou just does not give a fuck. I'm king of Explodo kills. Fuck you, I didn't want to win this way. Like, he always tells everyone off, but at the same time, he's not a complete dick to the point where, like, we would personally hate him. He's just more so like that asshole you love to see be an asshole. And that's why I like Bakugou. But Todoroki has a lot of depth to him as well, just getting more of his backstory. So it always goes back and forth. Like, when one epic chapter happens with Bakugou, I'm like, oh, I finally found it. I'm gonna go with Bakugou. And then something with Todoroki happens. I'm like, no, Todoroki. I would honestly argue between the two of them, Todoroki is far more deep and complex, but Bakugou's just a cool character. And honestly, my top 3 easily are those two and Deku. Deku, just everything that he goes through for a shonen main character. 46 chapters in, he is just he's progressed so much. The pacing of Hero Academia in general is just fast as a motherfucker, and I love that. You don't gotta wait. I mean, some of those fights, they were epic, but they were short and sweet at the same time. It wasn't like, oh, it could have been longer. What the hell are you doing? It was just like short and sweet. The fights you don't give a fuck about, he's gonna sweep them. You don't gotta watch them. So that's another good thing about Academia. But getting back to Deku, just Deku's character in 46 chapters, like, granted, sometimes he does fall back into that pussy mode, and I would honestly argue he's a combination of, like, the determination of Naruto, and sometimes it does get very Naruto, like, some of them speeches and shit like that, I'd be thinking, yo, is he gonna say this is my ninja way? He has a combination of, like, that pussy shit from Tsunayoshi Sawada, from Hit Mary Born, and the determination of Naruto. Difference is, though, what makes it stop him from being, like, just absolute greatness is that he falls constantly back and forth between, like, the pussy shit and then being an epic dude. Like, when Tsunayoshi Sawada was a pussy, you knew he was a pussy. When he went into Hyper Dying Will mode, you knew he was not going to back down from nobody. Likewise with Naruto, he was just not backing down from nobody. He never gave a fuck. Deku, I wish it would be more consistent when he's just like, I'm ready, I'm gonna fuck you up, and not snap back and forth between that, and I really wish he would tell Bakugou off again. I don't know, I just love it when he stands up to Bakugou and Bakugou's trying to shit on him and stuff like that, and just seeing Bakugou's character development, like, early on, I expected that Bakugou would become a villain, and maybe it was seeming that way, but between those two characters, it was interesting to see Ida, again, go the direction that he's ultimately headed, but I don't see Bakugou ever being a villain, just because seeing where he's at, especially already accomplishing being number 1, even though, granted, Todoroki did what he did, that was just a crusty move right there. I don't see Bakugou going down that road. Maybe Todoroki might go down that road, but Bakugou is just, he's already an asshole. You don't need him to be a villain, but I definitely see at some given point a few of these characters from these classes becoming villains. I mean, a lot of them have the traits. Bakugou has the traits of a villain, but more so, I would see him just being like an asshole hero. And that's something different and unique, honestly. Like, just being an ass, I'm going to save you, and then I'm going to call you a cunt right after I save you. Meanwhile, Todoroki, I could see him going down the path of either a villain or possibly an anti-hero. Like, I'm not going to be like this gung-ho motherfucker, I'm going to do my thing. So, I see him going down that road. And then Ida surprised the shit out of me, because again, I was coming in here and I was going to say, Ida's such a boring piece of shit, but the thing that happened with his brother and everything in the setup has just been really exciting to see where his character is going to go. Is he going to become a villain? What's going to happen? I've been waiting to see who's going to be the first person that's going to go the villain route. And honestly, I hope that Hero Academia does not stop with the high school, because there's been some foreshadowing that it could potentially go further on. Like, I believe, I don't know if it was Endeavor, somebody said something along the lines of, oh, once you get out of high school, you're going to be a lot better, and, you know, things is going to get a lot more easier for you and whatnot. So I'm hoping that Hero Academia goes on beyond. Maybe after the school shit, you can name it something else, but this just has so much potential to be really, really big. Like, when this gets an anime, those tournament fights, out the park. As long as they get a good studio and get that quality art and animation, and honestly, it does need to be ongoing to get that level of success to continue and whatnot, it's going to be amazing. Like, honestly, put A1 Pictures on the project, give the same art and animation as, like, a Nanatsu no Taizai, and make it ongoing. There you have it, because the anime could be absolutely amazing, and honestly, just, the characters are awesome and exciting. Granted, it is shonen. There are a couple times where I felt like little BS moments, like when Deku managed to move his hand and, like, the forces of the All for One in his head. I felt that was a little silly, and likewise with the whole thing of, again, Todoroki had that fight. I was like, you know, I love both of these characters, but I think Todoroki, why you play yourself like that, bro? Why you do that? And then his struggles with his father, honestly, he really just gives me those Hakuryu vibes. And Bakugou, he gives me like a Vegeta-esque type of vibe, but in his own right, and I like it, because he's just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, but he's still cool, and I really like that aspect of him. And honestly, just Hero Academia, it is the manga as of right now that I'm choosing, that I'm going to be reviewing. I don't know when I'm going to start, because as of right now, we seemingly are going into a training arc, and we got the new old guy that he's probably going to be like the Roshi of the series or whatever. So I'm kind of going to wait a little bit, wait till things get a little bit more exciting, and then bam, I'm going to be on it. But My Hero Academia, amazing ride, fun characters, fun fights, great art. I like even when he colors it, because while most mangaka, when they color it, just, you could tell his color, a lot of times he does like anime style art, with the coloring and whatnot, and I like that as well. That's freaking cool. So yeah, My Hero Academia, it is the shit right now, honestly. Between the other two manga that I was gonna choose, Black Clover, it is honestly the weakest as far as story goes. It is the simplest as far as story goes, and sometimes simple is actually really enjoyable. But Black Clover just doesn't really give me the same excitement that I had while marathoning Hero Academia, because Hero Academia is just out of the world freaking fun. It's really a fun series. And then the Natsu no Taizai, while it probably has the strongest story of the three, I'm going to review that eventually again as well. I don't know if I'll do doubles with this or I'll do it by itself, but I definitely still have 7 Deadly Sins in mind. I mean, I love 7 Deadly Sins, but Hero Academia just feels so fresh. At the same time, it's reminiscent of the past series like Naruto and giving you that vibe, and it just really is a fun fucking series. Go check it out if you want something similar to like Naruto or one of those shonen series that you're going to have a good time, because the characters are just so strong with giving you that fun feel. Let me know, have you read My Hero Academia yet? If not, definitely go check it out. If you have, what do you think? The big question, Todoroki or Bakugou, who's your favorite? Ida, do you think he's truly going to be a villain? If not, who do you think is going to be the first person to truly go rogue? Aizawa Sensei, is he definitely Kakashi? Do you see the resemblance? I mean, I'm not talking about looks wise, I'm talking about just the character in general. He gives you that vibe. And I guess All Might, he's kind of like his own thing. He's not necessarily the Jiraiya, because I see this new old dude being like the Jiraiya or whatever. And your overall thoughts of the series thus far? 46 chapters in, and it's just been one hell of a fucking ride. That tournament, the art and everything, it was just insane. And granted, there were some ass pulls here or there, but ultimately, it was just so fucking fun. Your overall thoughts of My Hero Academia, if you read it. Again, check it out if you haven't. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.